Welcome to Straight Shot Politics. Each episode will bring you in-depth discussion with experts, community leaders, and analysts who will share their insights, experiences, and predictions. From local elections to global diplomacy, we'll provide you with the tools and perspectives you'll need to navigate today's real-world landscape. Welcome to Straight Shot Politics. This is Michael Nash.
And I am Lisa Chafee.
And this is the continuation of our conversations from 2024 Union County Farm Fest. We had so much content, we had to make multiple episodes. It was a lovely day, great weather. We had a great time, didn't we, Lisa?
We had a great time, and we enjoyed the conversation so much that we hope you will enjoy them too.
We do indeed.
Joining us now, former chair of the Delaware Republican Party, is Mr. Shawn Parker Sr. Shawn, how are you?
Hey, I'm doing great, Lisa. It's so good to be out here on this beautiful, beautiful, hot, warm, sunny day in Union County.
It's a lot of fun.
Isn't it?
There's going to be a lot of people taking the stage and spreading the good news, so to speak.
Yes. I mean, we're lucky. I mean, the speaker lineup is best in class, and this place is jam-packed. It's wonderful.
It is. Gary Conklin joined us earlier and said they were expecting 1,000 people.
Okay. I could bet they might even surpass that.
Yeah, if we could be so lucky with the Freedom Rally coming up in September.
Yes. Well, Freedom Rally is going to be the coup de grace. So, this is a good warm-up for Freedom Rally. As momentum builds and everyone gets excited as we move closer to getting Joe Biden and Kamala Harris and all of that off of our shoes and America back on track to be in the right place, in the right direction, let's make it happen.
Amen to that. So you had the wonderful opportunity of going to the convention a few weeks ago in Milwaukee. Tell us about your experience and what was your favorite part?
Oh my gosh, favorite part was being asked to go. Really, because once you got there, it was nonstop. It was 5 hours of sleep a night at the most. We were on the buses. They had U.S. Marshals, armed marshals, guarding us the whole time. We stayed an hour away from Milwaukee, so it was the entire Ohio delegation was able to be in one place. Favorite part, though, Donald Trump coming out and making his appearance after the assassination attempt. What an amazing opportunity that was to be there in person and to see how close he came to, really being taken out by the left. And for him to make that appearance, I don't know. I mean, chills, just everyone's bodies were just covered in chills.
I was watching it at home, and I was fixated and just in awe of when he was describing that horrific day and what he went through. And it just moved. I gained even more respect for him than I had before. And I think he reinvigorated a whole new group of people.
Well, I think what it did is it illustrated the divide and exactly how radical and how crazed the left is. The left it's not the kind people that are social justice warriors of the old past. The Democrats of the Kennedy era, they don't have a place in that Democratic Party anymore. That Democratic Party has left them. The Democratic Party has moved into extreme, radical, crazed behavior. And this shooter, I mean, they still haven't given us information about him, but he is the epitome, I think, of what a lot of people's thoughts have manifested to. And for this guy to come out and do what he did, it tells you what is going on in their world of politics. Our world of politics is not about that. Our world of politics is about solving problems. It's about love, and it's about protecting human rights and all of the all the things that our founding fathers said needed to happen in order for people to be free. So the question is, do we have freedom in this country, and can we get back to it? And that's what we all do. Second Amendment, all the different things to protect freedom. We are the freedom warriors, and we are the freedom protectors.
So one of the things Republicans have different opinions on in general is voting early.
Yes. We have to We have to really change the way that we're doing it right now. We have to get out so we can be counted early, so we know our votes are counted. We're lucky to be in Ohio with Frank LaRose. Frankly, we live in probably one of the top 10 states, maybe top 5 states for election integrity and safety. But I shudder to think of places like North Carolina, Pennsylvania, and I worry somewhat about our urban markets. I worry about Franklin County, Cuyahoga County, things that are going on, the shenanigans of voter fraud. It's important, you're looking at Venezuela. Do people believe in the results of their free election and the truthfulness of those elections? And we have to be vigilant. Voting early is one of the ways that we think we can do a better job with that, as well as counting Republicans showing up to vote.
Well, and the other thing that I tell people too, and I get it, Vivek had a good idea, make Election Day a national holiday, but there's still people, nurses, that are working 12-hour shifts that they can't possibly get off to go to the Board of Elections or their polling center. So having that option is a good thing for them.
Yes.
But I also want to tell people, stuff happens.
Yes.
Your car might break down. You might get COVID. You might get the flu. Your kids might get sick. Anything can go wrong. And this is the most important election of our lifetime, and we need every single vote.
Vivek is correct. It should be a national holiday, and let's think about it for a second. We just came up with Juneteenth, and I'm not knocking Juneteenth, but when you look at the legacy of Abraham Lincoln, Frederick Douglass, Sojourner Truth, and Martin Luther King, why couldn't we have made Election Day that holiday, put it together so that we could actually look at the freedom that comes with a free and fair election, tie that together so that becomes the momentum for people to get out and vote. Republicans want 100% of eligible legal voters to get out and vote, 100%, not 99%. We'll be a part of that because we want everyone to go out and to pull the lever and participate in this great American experience that is 250 years old. So we are not voter suppression. We are voter protection, and we need to get our people out. We need to encourage them, and we need safe, fair, transparent elections.
Exactly. What message do you have for the younger people, especially, about voting this year? For example, my son,
Yep.
God love him, he just turned 18.
Great.
He does not want to register to vote.
I'll tell you what, it's a responsibility. We talk about the right to vote, but it's the responsibility to vote, because when you do not participate in voting, when you give it away, you never recover. And that's the difference between historically free countries and countries that have failed. And that old line, Mr. Franklin said, it's a republic if you can keep it.
Right.
It all lines into the idea that everyone gets out and votes. And if you don't vote, you don't have the right to complain. You need to understand that if you're going to go out and vote, it's very important that you now are participating in this governance, that you are a part of it, and that America wins when we are all working together. And we have to respect our disagreements. But education is the other key that we have to be in a very large way. Lots and lots of education so people know who they're voting for, why they're voting for it. We need to knock off the fake narratives that are going on out there. I'm really disappointed in the Democratic Party with the false narratives they're putting out. They put them out better and more so than anybody else. They need to stop, and they need to get to the issues and the truth and talk about what really affects people.
Agreed. Shawn, thank you for joining us.
Okay.
It's great to see you as always. We'll talk again soon.
Appreciate that. Thank
Love
you
you
very
guys.
much.
Take care.
You guys again.
See ya.
Thank
All
you.
right.
Thanks.
So, Mike, our presence has now been graced by 2 veterans.
How about that?
We have Don Roberts,
Hello.
attorney in Hilliard.
Yes.
You served in the Air Force, correct?
I did, yes.
And we have Chandler Wysocki, who is chair of the flagship Young Republicans.
Yep.
And Chandler, you served in
The Army.
the Army. And at 2 different times, we have a major age difference here, not to tell on anybody.
I'm the old man, don't worry.
So both of you were at the RNC convention. No, Chandler, you didn't make it. Don, you were a delegate, correct?
I was a delegate, yes.
So tell us about that experience. How did you get to be a delegate?
Well, first off, let me say I've been a delegate for all 3 Trump campaigns.
Okay.
So this was the first time I actually got to go to the big show. Reason being, the first time Kasich won the primary for Ohio, so I didn't get to go officially. I still was able to go up there, and I assisted someone with an ADA tag and was pushing a wheelchair, and so I still got to go on the floor. I got to see a lot of the things going on in Cleveland. It was a good time. But it was nothing compared to what we just experienced. Of course, last time I was a Trump delegate as well, but COVID shut us down, so it was canceled. This time in Milwaukee, it was a great time. The Ohio delegation was at a resort, is where they had us put up at, and it was fantastic. It was from start to finish exhausting and exhilarating at the same time.
I can imagine. It's just watching it on the TV. It's the first time I ever actually watched a convention. Admittedly, I've only become involved in politics since I ran for school board in 2021. But I mean, it almost seemed like a spiritual event that was happening before our eyes.
That was, I think that's a really good description of it. It was a spiritual event. You felt in your heart what was going on there. I felt, although it was never sort of pushed as a family sort of theme,
right?
Everything had a family connection to it, from the Gold Star family speaking to Trump's family members speaking, his granddaughter speaking. Everyone had a connection to family, whether it was family loss from the borders being opened and people being killed, people being overdosing from drugs coming across the border. So they connected everything that was, any of the speakers that were speaking, they connected it to family. So to me, I walked away because my wife and my daughter was there, Haley. And to me, that was really special, especially when you hear who was speaking. Now, it didn't hurt that President Trump had Hulk Hogan there, which between Hulk Hogan and Trump, I think she was torn. She loved them both so much.
Aww. Haley, I love Haley. For those who don't know you, Haley is probably one of the most beautiful young women I've ever met. She does, unfortunately, have Down syndrome, but she just graduated from high school.
Yes.
She's got a promising future ahead of her, and I just enjoy being around her. She's refreshing to be around.
She's a life lesson for me every day I walk beside her.
I believe that.
And it's fantastic. It's moving. But getting back to your original question, how you become a delegate.
Yeah.
I think that's important for people to know. For me, the party reached out and said, anyone that's interested, you know, let us know, and we'll vet everyone, and then we'll decide who we want to select. Officially, you can actually request to be a delegate and actually run and see if your district or your congressional district has someone that the party wants, but yet you want it. Mm-hmm. You could try and actually, request a
campaign against
them.
Okay.
Yeah. So that's something that a lot of people don't realize. And if you go all the way back to 2016 when Trump came to Ohio, there was no one here that wanted to be part of that campaign. I was literally one of the first ones that was out there, and we were knocking on our neighbors' doors saying, hey, we need someone to be a delegate. Would you want to be a delegate? I'd go to other counties. Do you want to be a county chairman for the Trump campaign? So his campaign was completely skeletal and grassroots from start to finish. So that was a different kind of thing. The party wasn't out there looking for people, good candidates to be delegates. We were literally looking for anyone that, warm body out there.
Oh.
Because we had a deadline to meet, so we had to meet that.
Right.
So the way they selected delegates in 2016 was totally different than how they did for this time around.
Mm-hmm.
So,
Chandler, tell us about the Young Republicans.
Goodness gracious. Well, we're the original auxiliary group, and we've been around since as long as the GOP's been around. Here in Ohio, we just won Best State Federation of the Year.
Congratulations.
Something that we win pretty regularly. I wasn't a chapter leader then, but my previous chapter leader, Kevin Shimp, did a good job. The past and current state federation leader, Victoria Hubner, who is now national committee woman, and Cody Petit, who is now the state federation chapter, both do an amazing job. They do a really good job where a lot of people kind of burn out and fail. And then lower than them, the chapter leadership are people who also dedicate a lot of their own time, their money, a lot of kind of their own network they put into it. And that's something I have kind of picked up as a tradition by putting my time, my own money, and my own network into the YRs. And I've been able to, it's funny, there's a part in the Bible that says, and he never says this, but God tells man to test him and say, donate to charity, and I will fill up the coffers of your farm. Pretty much the only time God tells man to test him. And I've kind of felt that where every time I put somebody that I know or some money that I know, and the resources grow far beyond anything that I would have been able to have beforehand. Now I have a network of like 60 people who work in different industries and different roles and different campaigns all across the state. The YRs is the group to join if you are 18 to 40. Even if you're a little outside of that age range, usually the events are public, and I highly advise anybody listening to go. And if you can't make it, at least get to know who your chapter leader is, because that guy is usually someone who has his fingers in a lot of pies.
And Chandler, I'd just like to add, he was a candidate himself. So
yes,
for the young Republicans, he is a fantastic source of inspiration of someone to run, to a faith-based guy that's out there speaking it, walking the walk and talking the talk. So I appreciate what he does. I've helped him on his campaign previously, and no one works harder, in my opinion, than Chandler.
It's funny, the first day, my first meeting as a county central committeeman was actually where I met, it's actually where I met everybody at this table, funny enough. And that was the same day at the time, county chair asked me to run, which I didn't know what I was running for until after the meeting. And then he asked, I need you to run for state senate. I just had to pause for a moment and say, yeah, sure. What do I have to do? Go down to the Board of Elections, get this, and that.
And you had all the energy to do that.
Yeah.
And he's everywhere. I've gotten to know Chandler. Well, we both are on Central Committee for Franklin County. I'm president of the Hilliard Club. He's got the YR, so we have the Council of Clubs. And anytime, if he can do it and I ask for help, he does it.
Yeah,
absolutely.
You don't even know it yet, but I'm actually going to be at that Greek Fest. Since you put the call out, I haven't looked at my schedule, but me and my friends will be there.
Awesome.
We'll be signing up.
Yeah, that's Labor Day weekend over in
Annunciation Church?
Somewhere on the east side, right?
Yeah.
I forget where. You can go to our website. I think we're going to advertise it on there. But if people want to learn about the YRs and join the YRs, where can they go to do that?
So there is the NYRF, the National Young Republicans Federation. We have a really good website. You get to see who's in charge and who we involve ourselves with. We also have the OYRs as the state federation. So if you're not in Franklin County, Madison, or Union, you can go and email to them, and someone, probably the two people I mentioned, Cody or Tori, will respond to you very quickly. And you can talk to me through Cap City YRs at Facebook. And I think we also have a Twitter, but we don't really use that too much because we're too busy doing things in real life.
And they can always email Franklin County Republican Party.
Yes.
And we'll reach out to you. We'll connect you that way, too.
Yes. Our secretary is actually your PD. Yeah.
Yeah. Cameron?
Cameron
Bryant, yeah.
Good man.
And I'm secretary for Franklin County, so Cameron and I work together on managing the email inbox.
Never an easy gig.
No, it's not. So one of the things, and I'm very excited, you may not know this, the first 2 weeks of early voting, Franklin County will be hosting Republican early vote days. We're going to be out there in force with volunteers, so we want people, we want to have fun. But we know that the left has not behaved so nicely up there at the Morse Road location. I've witnessed it myself. So we want people to feel safe and comfortable to come vote, and they can plan. And we're going to have different candidates there each day. So we're still in
that
the
early vote
process.
center has been known as Thunderdome for those Mad Max fans.
Yeah, it gets pretty crazy. But so our campaign is protect your vote. So I'm voting early for one thing, so I can be helping people on as an officer in the party, help them with slate cards and things like that on election day. Why are you going to vote early, or will you?
I am. I actually was one of those steadfast I vote on election day guys, and even when I ran for school board in 2009, just like you, I still managed to go vote on election day versus voting on, going out to vote early. But I have changed those colors and those stripes, and I am now a solid early voter because I actually went back during the Bush administration when his campaign was going on. I actually missed voting on election day, and it was in Northern Kentucky. I was a police officer back then, and we just was really busy that day, so I ended up not being able to vote. And that's sort of stuck with me. Even though I still did it, now there's a trend to say, hey, there's a good reason to vote early, and that's what I'm getting at is those things in life that happens, they can prevent you from voting. And right now, our votes count more than ever. We need to do what they're pushing right now, swamp the vote, okay? We want it to be so big it can't be rigged, okay?
Right.
So if you're of the mindset we lost how we lost, then the reason is then you need to get out there and vote. Because if something happens, you can't vote, you're going to miss it and you can't be counted. You want to be counted, and that's the most important reason for me is I want my vote counted. This last election, whether you believe in the, some shenanigans going on with the campaign or with the election, or if you just feel that we just didn't hit the mark. Either way, we didn't get our people out there, because if we got our people out there, it would have been too big to rig.
Right.
And I think we would have got the win like we had expected.
And it's also a way, when I say protect your vote, there's a lot of identity theft out there. We know there's companies funded by the left who are creating false voter registration for addresses and such. And you don't want to risk that somebody votes in your name, and you can only find that out when you go to cast your vote. So
That's right.
Make sure you do that. Chandler, why are you going to vote early? What's your message?
I am one of the few people who has gotten to vote for Donald Trump all 5 times, which would be 2 primaries. His first primary, I was an 18-year-old Republican primary voter. I voted for Donald Trump. It's one of the proudest moments of my life. I'm there in my green Publix uniform, the baby barf thing, if you know what that looks like. I'm riding my rinky-dink bike to the little library. It's a great story. And I voted for Donald J. Trump then. I voted for him again, also early through mail. In my time, I was in the Army. I voted for him again after my time in the Army for the general, and then I did it again in the primary, and I'll be doing it again this November. And every single time I voted early, even during 2022, because I was dedicating my time in service to something in the Republican Party, something in service. I think for 2022, I was in the war room doing the Excel spreadsheet and the tracking and the modeling and the poll flushing. I did that during 2022. 2023, I had moved on to managing a campaign for school board in Gahanna during the Issue 1, Issue 2 flood. And again, I will be back in the war room. I will be back poll vulturing and poll flushing this 2024. So I will be early voting because I already have my election day plan scheduled out, and that's going to be making sure we win election day. And I think every YR should do that.
We need more young people like you. You are a breath of fresh air. It gives me hope. We just had Gabe Greene, and I
Great
know
friend of mine.
I say his name wrong every time, and I'm
Guidarini.
sorry, Gabe Guidarini from Turning Point Action. He can't even legally buy a drink yet, and he's got more followers on Twitter. And just seeing these young men and women out there, it's very exciting for me to see that, and they give me hope.
Oh, I love to see the young people getting out there. Shawn Parker Jr. is
Yes.
campaign manager. We're seeing so many of these guys out there, and I love it. I mean, I'm still vibrant enough to still be out there, I think, but I love stepping back and just watching these guys do their thing. It's incredible. It's a sense of pride knowing that as many times as people talk bad about the country, as many times as people say, here's what's wrong, you get to see out of Chandler and Gabe and Shawn, all these guys are examples of what's right about this country.
Well, gentlemen, I think Bernie and Vivek are getting ready to come on, so let's go listen to them. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you.
Joining us now is Kelly Greene from Bikers for Trump. Hi, Kelly. How are you?
Hi, Lisa. Thanks for having me.
Hey, Kelly, thanks for joining us. Appreciate that.
Absolutely. My pleasure.
I was hoping you guys were going to be here today.
Yeah.
And I was telling you before, I've seen your posts on social media, but tell us the history a little bit of how Bikers for Trump came to exist. What's your mission and what
Sure.
you guys are working on?
Absolutely. So as you're familiar with our social media, we have over 100,000 people that follow us on social media. So we have a very engaged community. And we're all after the same mission, to get Trump back in office, to make America great again. I know we keep hearing that. Amen.
Yeah.
Yep, absolutely. So we saw what happened when, the Biden effect of the past 4 years, and we can't let Kamala in again.
Right.
And just carry that on. And, we strongly feel it's going to deteriorate our country even further. So we're 100,000. We have 2,900 active members across the country.
Oh, that's fabulous.
So we do this every day, all week long, every month. We just go out where the call is needed. The Trump administration will reach out to boots on the ground, Bikers for Trump, let us know, hey, we need you guys at this location. We saddle up and we get there. So
that's phenomenal.
yeah.
That's very cool. Glad that people are actually heeding that call and doing the thing and putting the effort in and into the cause. That's great.
And it's a lot of us, like I work for a great company. It's a small company outside of greater Cincinnati. And the owner, he gives a lot financially, and my husband and I were not able to do that, so we donate our time. We have a motorcycle. We volunteer, we do our part, and we just do whatever we can to spread the word and get Trump and J.D. Vance back in office.
Love JD.
I love J.D.
Love JD.
Yes.
On a personal level, before, if you weren't involved with this, what are your concerns? Has your life been made better or worse by the Biden administration?
Oh, absolutely worse, and I'm not just saying that. I mean, I'm middle class. My husband works. I work full time. I have 3 kids. One of them he just got out of the Army. He's in the police academy right now.
Hoorah.
Thank you. So, and then my daughter, she's an athlete, a women athlete, and she's at Wright State University. She's going to be continuing her track and field career. So there's a lot, as you can see, between the police, between women's sports. There's a lot of things personally that I take very, very important to me. My husband's a local sheriff deputy, so that's very important to me. I want, leaders are going to protect my husband, protect my son, protect my daughter as she's competing, in track and field sports. So there's a lot, and I have another son coming up, and he wants to go into the military too. So, we want a good commander-in-chief.
We do.
Yeah, we need that.
My son
Fantastic.
is beginning his senior year this year, and we've talked about him being in the military.
God bless him.
And my father was in the military, and it's truly an honorable thing to do. But if Trump is not in office this time next year, or by the time he graduates, I don't want him in the military because they're wussifying the military.
Yeah, and that's sad to say. I come from a strong patriotic family. My dad was a police officer. Army, he served in Vietnam. We have Navy. My grandfather was in the Navy. He was a fireman in my town that I grew up in. So it's very important to us, a public service and military, and, to be hesitant to do that because of who's sitting in the Oval Office.
Exactly.
What happened to our country? It's just sad.
It's very sad, and I just don't know where we will go if Trump is not elected.
Yeah.
So we've got less than 100 days.
Yes, ma'am.
And one of the messages that we're pushing is vote early.
Okay.
How do you feel about that, and will you vote early, and why?
Yes, I think I will vote early. I think, there's more precautions in place this year than there were previously. We understand where the loopholes were, where the issues were before. I think, those like Elon Musk standing up, and supporting and donating this money to make sure they're all legit. It's going to be difficult. It is. But I'm going to vote early. I will, just to make sure and make sure my vote gets counted and make sure it gets there. So, yeah, we're promoting it. Absolutely.
Excellent. I saw here that in 2019, Bikers for Trump became the Political Action Committee, which is great.
Yes, we did.
It's fantastic.
Yep. And we're actually taking steps as well. So in the biker community, we have clubs We're not a 1% club. We're not bad people. You know, there's bikers out there to give us a bad name, you know, and there's always going to be that no matter what.
Exactly, yeah.
So, but yeah, we're taking steps to be, you know, an official club. And, you know, so that way, you know, we're a political organization and we just go out and support and ride and take, you know, help the community best we can. We do a lot of charity events as well, too. You know, we're not just focused on, obviously very important this year with it being an election year, but we participate, you know, we support our veterans, our first responders. We go out and we do the, you know, community events all throughout the year.
So imagine I'm a Democrat for a second. God
Okay.
help me.
Ooh.
And I'm telling you, you should vote for Kamala Harris because she's going to be the first female president.
Yeah.
What's your response?
I don't look at that, you know, and I get slack from some of my Democratic friends and saying, how can you not vote? You're a female. You're a mom. How can you not vote for the very first woman president? I don't fall for that. I don't vote for color of skin, you know, gender. I don't vote for that. I vote for the issues and what's going to make my family's life better and my future, you know, my grandchildren, my great-grandchildren. That's what I'm most concerned about. Not the gender or the race of the person that could be elected. The right person will come along. The right female will eventually come along and, you know, we'll get her elected into the office.
Exactly. And I want people to understand they need to do their research and really look at what these people stand for.
Right.
Kamala doesn't believe in the child tax credit, so she's anti-family.
Yep. And I've heard that line quite a bit, that she's anti-family.
And you know, it helps. You know, I'm a single mom, and now my son just turned 18 yesterday.
Oh, happy birthday.
And I found out last year when he turned 17 that $2,000 credit dropped down to $500, and I didn't know it, and boy, did that really hurt. So I know there's a lot of people in that same boat, and they need help. You know, we've got countries like Hungary that are paying people to have babies, and here we are in the United States. We've got environmentalist groups saying, no, don't have any more kids, and our reproductive rate in the United States is drastically dropping, and that's going to affect us in the long run.
Right.
You know, it just, people need to do the research. Whatever is important to them, do your research, whether it be, you know, your property taxes, health insurance, child care, even abortion. Abortion's not on the ballot anymore, but you know, the left is still bringing it up. You know, check into that. Do your research.
Well, that's the other thing, too. It's like the other side is so focused on what they think are the issues.
Yeah.
You know, what they think environmental, you know, climate change is important, you know, and they're running on that. Come to, like, where we are today and listen and actually truly listen to what we're all concerned about. The grocery bill, the gas, you know, the gas tank, health insurance, the copays. I know my health insurance doesn't cover nearly as much as it used to.
Exactly.
You know, so, you know, I'm tired of getting all these, I'm paying a dime and a leg for, you know, health insurance every month, but it's not covering as much as it used to. So, you know, I stopped going to the doctor. I'm like, well, I'll take care of that, you know. So
yeah, I actually started going to a doctor who doesn't even take insurance.
There you go.
Flat fee.
Yep.
Yeah. Now, I do have insurance, so God forbid if I had up in the hospital or something, I'm covered that way.
Right, right.
So tell us where people can find you to learn more about your organization.
Absolutely. So you can find us on Facebook, Boots on the Ground, Bikers for Trump. We have many chapters across the country, so when you type that in, you might see various chapters from across the country, but they all loop up. We're here with Mark Smith, who is our national president, Smitty. We rode up with him today.
Yeah.
So, you know, you can find us on Facebook and then link out to our websites from there.
We saw Smitty earlier. He stopped by, said hi to us.
Yeah.
Retired Marine.
He is.
Yeah, he's a Marine. Hoorah.
Hoorah.
Fantastic. All
My
right.
husband's a Marine as well.
Fantastic.
So, yes.
So am I.
Oh, hoorah. Thank you, sir.
Thank you. Hey, I saw you. I'm looking at your Facebook page right now. It looks great.
Yeah.
This is Bikers for Trump.
Yeah.
So this is fantastic. We've got a lot of members here, and I just want people to understand that to reach out to you and like it.
Yes, like
very
it.
much.
Like it,
And
follow it, go to events.
Yep, and message us, and then Smitty will get back to you, or myself, or one of the members will get back to you.
Excellent. You guys have Twitter, or do you guys have
No, we don't have Twitter.
X or-
No,
Just Facebook?
just Facebook right now.
Okay.
And I have to say, I know for some people, you've got some men who are really big burly men. And
Yes.
they've all got these wonderful leather vests on. They are big teddy bears.
They are.
Do not be afraid to approach them and just say hi.
No.
They're wonderful.
No, there was a group of kids over here by the popcorn machine just a minute ago with one of our members, and he was getting some, and they're like, "Sir, are you a good biker or a bad biker?" I said, "Well, what was your answer?"
I love it.
funny.
Yeah. Well, Kelly,
Yes.
thank you for joining
thank you
us.
very
My
much.
pleasure.
Have
Thank
a
you.
great day and keep up the
Thank
good
you.
work.
Same to you. Thank you for having us, and
Appreciate
keep it up.
that. Peace be good. Thank you.
We truly appreciate the Union County Republican Party for allowing us to be at the 2024 Summer Farm Fest. We had many fantastic conversations, didn't we, Michael?
Oh, gosh, we did. We sure did. Yes, indeed. You know, we recorded about 2.5 hours of content that day.
That's a lot of content.
A lot of content.
Too much for one episode.
Yeah.
Too much to digest there. So we're going to break it into 3 episodes.
Probably 3 or 4, yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So if you want to follow along, listen to all the great speakers. We had Keith Faber, our wonderful state auditor, the former Union County Chair, Gary Conklin, and Bikers for Trump.
Bikers for Trump.
They're the bomb.
Those guys are great. Yep. We also had TV personality Mehek Cook. We had Gabe Guidarini from Turning Point Action. Also had Ezra and Adam from American for Prosperity. And many more. So,
Many more.
Many more.
Many more. Lots of great commentary.
We
and
did.
it was a lot of fun.
It was.
So again, several more episodes to come. And you can find us on YouTube and Facebook. Straight Shot Politics.
Straight shot politics.